Hi, I'm about to welcome to my channel Africa Every Day. The topic for this week is languages in Nigeria. We're going to be talking about languages in Nigeria, the regional languages, and also the region, my language, where I belong to. Before we start today's video, I'd like to show my full appreciation to all my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate this. I'm grateful with every fiber of my being for your support. Without your support, all this will not be possible, especially Mr. Mike Atomichrim, a very wonderful man. Thank you so much for your support. Only heaven can reward you. Thank you, I really appreciate it. All right, before I start today's video, I would like to show my apologies. Yes, my apologies time for the background noise. So, you can hear the generator noise running in the background. Nigeria is a very, very noisy country. We don't have reliable power supply, so the citizens will rely on generator to supply our power. That is why at night when you go to some place in Nigeria, a lot of noises everywhere coming from generators. That is the kind of country that we find ourselves. But I hope things will get better. So I'll be talking about Nigerian languages today now. In the entire world, the country that has the most language spoken in that country is Papua Guinea, a West African country here. While the second goes to Indonesia, and the third goes to Nigeria, my favorite, my beloved country. Now in Nigeria now, we have over 500 languages spoken in Nigeria. 500 languages spoken in Nigeria, and we only have one official language, and that is the language of our colonial master. That is our former language, which is English language. We have our former language, English language. So I'll be talking about my own local language here today. I'll be teaching you basic statements and some sounds that are present in English language, but not present in my own local language, that I have to take my extra time to learning, and also some sounds that are also present in English language, but not there in my own local language. I'll talk about that. And also some of the words that were adopted directly from English language. Like for example now, some words that they don't have word for it in my local language. That we only change and customize the word from another language and import it to one language. For example now, bread. In Yoruba word, there is no Yoruba word for bread. So how do we do that? We take the bread and we change it to buredi. So Yoruba call this bread, we call it buredi, because there is no Yoruba word for it. So that's really what we'll be talking about today. Alright, to talk about the first one now, we're going to talk about the words that we use in greeting. Now, how do we greet ourselves? Please, for those of you that are not coming from English-speaking country, I'm very sorry. I only know how to speak two languages. I know how to speak Yoruba language and English language. So whenever I want to be taking examples from other language, I'll surely be taking from English, because that's the only language that I understand apart from my own local language. Though I wish to learn French too. I wish to learn French and Chinese too. But it's like, I don't know, I'm just finding it difficult to acquire the knowledge. So, how to greet now? Before I talk about that, I'm talking about the major regions that we have in Nigeria. All the regions of Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, with over 250 million people living in this country. So we have the most populated country in Africa. And all the regions in Nigeria are divided into three regions. We have the Igbo regions, which is also known as Igbo. We call it Igbo region or Igbo region. We have the Hausa region, which is the northern part of Nigeria, and we have the Yoruba region, which is the region that I'm from. Each language, their major language, just have a lot of language, a lot of dialects under them. Like for example now, under Yoruba language, we have a lot of dialects. Like we have Ijebu language, Ijebu dialect, we have Egba dialect, we have Ondo dialect. All those dialects, we can understand each other. Though we won't be able to speak the dialect, but to a very significant portion, we understand the dialect. So a lot of dialect, but we actually understand each other. In fact, there has been a dialect that unofficially we are getting to know it as like a modernized Yoruba language. It's a Yoruba language that is usually spoken in the city, like Lagos. Any city that Nigeria that where Yoruba is spoken, it's usually spoken with the modern version of Yoruba language. All right, so I'll be talking about the Yoruba now. In America, let me say in English-speaking countries, to greet people like hi or good morning, or depending on the time of the day. But in Yoruba language, to greet now, when you want to greet in Yoruba language, depending on the time, whatever you are doing in Yoruba language, we have a greeting for it. Like for example now, in the morning, instead of good morning, is how we greet in Yoruba language. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Àárọ̀ is morning. Ẹ kú àárọ̀. That's how we greet. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Luckily ẹ kú àárọ̀, but because of the the apostrophe, so we have ẹ káàárọ̀. That's how we greet. Then for afternoon, good afternoon in English, we say ẹ káàsán. That song, that's the afternoon. Ẹ káàsán. Ẹ káàsán. That's how we greet. Ẹ káàsán níbí báyìí o. For example, you want to enter a house. Ẹ káàsán níbí báyìí o. That is good afternoon this place. You have to tell them. Then for evening now, you say ẹ káalẹ́. Ẹ káalẹ́ níbí báyìí o. Ẹ káalẹ́. Alẹ́, that's evening or night, whichever one. So ẹ káalẹ́. All right. Like let's say you've discussed with a friend and now you want to leave them for the day. In English language you say goodbye, right? When you leave them, you tell them goodbye, see you next time. In Yoruba language you said ó dàbọ̀. Yes, you say ó dàbọ̀, a tún máa ríra lọ́la o. So the goodbye means ó dàbọ̀. That's what I'm talking about. It means ó dàbọ̀. All right. Now we have saying the same thing using different sentences, just like we have in English language. Like for example, when we tell somebody in English, sit down, it's the same thing as be seated. It's the same thing as have your seat. So we have that in Yoruba language too. So I'll give you an example now, using the same sitting. Now when Yoruba says jókòó, sit down, jókòó, the same thing. When we say ẹ fìdí lélẹ̀, yes, ẹ fìdí lélẹ̀, still the same thing. Ẹ fìdí lélẹ̀, jókòó, different sentences, but they mean the same thing. Yes. Ẹ fi kalẹ̀ síbẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ fi kalẹ̀ síbẹ̀ yẹn. That's like have your seat, the same thing. Different sentences, the same thing. Yoruba language is very, very similar to English language in many ways. In fact, there are only few sounds, probably less than 5, that can be found, that is present in our English language, but can be found in Yoruba language. Very, very, very few. So if you fully understand, you can use the knowledge of Yoruba language to understand English language. They are very, very similar in many ways. So I'll also be looking at some other examples in terms of comparison between English language and my mother tongue. I don't want to make today's video to be unnecessarily boring. I don't want it to be too long, but I'll be talking about extinction of languages. At least 7 languages have gone extinct in Nigeria. 7 languages has gone extinct in Nigeria. And believe me, to say the truth, in terms of language going extinction, there's nothing anybody can do about it. Why? Because more and more people want to learn how to speak English language because it is our official language. If you speak your dialects in a city or in a place where people are well educated, they'll laugh at you. You won't want to do that. So there's nothing anybody can do about dialect. Languages in Nigeria going into extinction. There are many things that government has put in place to make sure that this is not happening, but believe me, it's not working at all. Even the government is not even sincere with it. So it is not working at all. Please, it's not working. You're in extinction? I don't know, but I'm very sure it will still take centuries before like half of it will go extinction. But I know with time, I know many or most will go into extinction. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The only language that won't go extinction is the language that is made official. That is the only language that I'm 100% sure that will not go into. If it not goes to extinction, if it is not an official language, it is bound to go into extinction. That one is true. All right. Now let's look at how we can rudely ask something from somebody and how we can politely ask something from somebody. Like for example, now in English language, I may say, if I say, "Let me have your phone." Somebody, probably I don't know the person, I said, "Let me have your phone." They will look at me like, "Did you buy the phone for me? What's wrong with you?" Let me have. They'll say, "May I please have your phone?" May I please have your phone? That one is polite. In Yoruba language, we have the same thing. They'll say, for example, you want to borrow something from somebody, say, "Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ yá mi phone mi." Phone is phone. So some people call it ẹ̀rọ ayárabíàṣá. I don't know the Yoruba word for it, but I love using phone. Say, "Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ yá mi ní phone mi." That's polite. We love using "ẹ jọ̀ọ́" in Yoruba language when we want to sound polite. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá ń ṣe, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. We love using the ẹ jọ̀ọ́ means please. And if you want to be rude, just remove the ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Fún mi ní fóònù ẹ. Fún mi ní fóònù ẹ. Like ìwọ ló rà á fún mi ni. Why are you the one that bought it for me? Look at the way you're just asking for my phone rudely. So that ẹ jọ̀ọ́, when a Yoruba person uses ẹ jọ̀ọ́ to start their statement, that is a sign of politeness. And we all know that it's not only the words that convey meaning of a language. We have the tone too. We rather have the facial expression of the speaker. But I'm not going to be mentioning that. We know that that is present in all the language. Though I'm not a linguistic, but I'm very sure facial expression and tone add meaning to all languages that we speak. I may be wrong. I'm not 100% sure of that. So that is how to politely ask somebody for something in Yoruba language. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ yá mi lówó, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ yá mi ní 10 naira. Or ẹ yá mi ní múrí márùn. That múrí márùn is 100 naira. Múrí is 20 naira. A 20 naira bill is called múrí. Múrí. That's called 20 naira bill. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ yá mi. So that's what we call that the being polite or being rude in our Yoruba language. Now let's talk about sounds that are present in Yoruba language but not present in English language, and vice versa. Number one of sound that is present in English language but not present in Yoruba language is chi sound. Chi sound as in chin chin, cheap. Chin chin, cheap. Cheat. We don't have that sound in Yoruba language. We only have she sound. She sound as in sheep. Sugar. Shoes. We don't have chi sound in Yoruba language. All right. Then a sound that is present in Yoruba language but not present in English, we have B sound. We call it B. In fact, I've never heard any foreigner pronouncing that sound correctly ever since I've been listening to different foreigners speaking the language. We call it B sound. B, yes, B. And it is indicated with G, that is G and B written together. Call it B sound. Example of B sound, we have agbalagba, 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 B sound. We have bangbala, B, bangbala. We have agbala, agbala. So that agbala means compound. We have agbala. It's not there in English language. Then another one that is present in English language but it's not there. In Yoruba language, we have G sound, G, as in something like a genre, something like pleasure. Pleasure, genre. It's not present in Yoruba language. We also have about 3 more examples, but I'll be stopping that because of our time. Alright? Naming common objects in Yoruba language. We have one, we have money. Money means owo in Yoruba language. Money, owo, so means. Then we have cap. Cap. This is cap, hat, any other name. We call it fila. It's a filami. We have filami, my cap. We have our shoe, batami. Irrespective of the kind of shoe it is, we call it batami. It doesn't, the style doesn't matter. It is still batami, my shoe. And we have house. House means ile. House, ile. And in Yoruba language, tone. Tone dictates how words are pronounced. You could have a spelling that we have 2 or 3 more different pronunciation. You could have a word that has 3 or more different pronunciation in Yoruba language. So it can be tricky, but this video can contain all that. Then let's look at our food. Food is onje. Food, onje. We have our stone. Stone is okuta. Stone is okuta. Rock. Rock is apata. Apata, not apata. Is apata. Then we have book. Book. Book is iwe. Iwe. Then we have school. School is ile-iwe. Ile-iwe. School. So say ile-iwe. That is not house book. No, that is school, not house book. That is school. It's called ile-iwe. Then we have omo. Omo, that's child. Omo, child. But daughter. Daughter is ọmọbìnrin. While son means ọmọkùnrin. Ọmọkùnrin. Biro. Biro pen means gègé. Call it gègé. Gègé kọ̀wé. Gègé kọ̀wé. But pencil. Pencil has no Yoruba word. Yes. Pencil is called pencil. Pencil, derived from pencil. Pencil, that's English. Pencil, that's Yoruba word for it. There's no called the real Yoruba word for it. So I'm very sure English also has so many words that were borrowed from other language, especially from Greek and French. I'm very sure of that. So that's what we'll be looking at. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll surely answer your questions. Thank you for your support. You can share this with any of your friends that are interested in learning things outside your continent. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You can also become my patron by checking the link to that in the description of my video. Atomic Shrimp, Mr. Mike, a very wonderful man. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you next time.